Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 374. It's been a while, so let's get right to it. And so, interesting little set of champions. I'm tempted to just try and draft this Katarina. It's been quite a while since we've actually come out here and drafted this Katarina. There is, though, the Fishbones Fizz, and I've been looking to jump into the path of this Fishbones. The new card that's been kind of added into this is the 5 cost landmark that counts down to give your 1 cost units a big boost, and so perhaps we'd be able to find that at some point throughout this trial as well. So I guess I can get behind this. We can jump in here and take this Fizz and see if we can't pull off something with the 1 drops theme, um, as opposed to trying to draft the Katarina. But you are one of my faves, Katarina. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy the Relentless card pool. But nonetheless, let's take a moment. We'll pull this up on the site. We're just over here at ftpbust.com. We're just going to be on the Expedition Helper or the main page. We'll scroll our way down here to the Fizz and Fishbones and take a peek at what lives here. And so, yeah, the card I was talking about as far as the landmark goes is Reaver's Row. This was the new addition from, I can't remember what it was, if it was in the event pass thing with action, or if it was in the final set. I really don't remember, but this is here and now, and so I would like to give this a try if it does show up. Kind of my opinion of it was it's a little bit too expensive to be relevant, and we aren't really looking to try and. Oh, sorry, I got my cat knocking stuff off my desk, but. Nonetheless, it seems like a little too expensive to me, but we'll see how it plays out if it shows up. Otherwise, the big thing that I recommend when trying to assemble this deck is looking to find 10 1 drops. 10 kind of feels like the magic minimum number that you're looking for here, and so that's what we'll try to do. So if you're going to stop and think, okay, how am I going to get 10 1 drops? You got 14 packs to draft through. We're already starting with one with Fizz. And so through the next 13 packs, we need 9 of them to have a 1 drop in it. And so I really advocate for just taking whatever 1 drops show up here at the beginning. And then once we've gotten, close to 10, if we have 8 or 9 and it's like, pick 11, then we can kind of start to uh, move away from them. But, there are some bigger ones that we're looking for here. The Pull Shark being the big one. Shell Shocker, of course, plays fantastically since it replaces itself. And then if you pile on some of the plunder themes and things like Jagged Butcher, Prowling Cutthroat will be okay. Uh, but, at the end of the day, there are kind of like 2 flavors of this deck, in my opinion. I really like to build more towards the Jagged Taskmaster. Just be this really, really aggressive deck that can drop kind of Taskmasters at will. Uh, um, and just try to be able to trade up a little bit with just this +1 attack. There's also trying to build towards Professor Von Yip. It's a little bit different with him. He's not in this. He's over on the Piltover side. But with Von Yip, he kind of wants you to be able to play spells as units. And so the ideal thing with Professor Von Yip would be banking up 3 spell mana, and then on turn 4 you play Von Yip and follow it up with Double Trouble, or you follow it up with the likes of a jailbreak, and then like the Piltover thing that makes the 2/1/1s. But whatever, you're just trying to maximize your value on that turn with Von Yip. So if he gets cleared out, then you've gotten some amount of value out of it. So I prefer to draft the Taskmaster kind of variant. Um, I think the Reaver's Row probably plays a little bit better with the Von Yip style, but we'll see how this plays itself out. So our starting here with the Fishbones, and for our second one, uh, kind of interesting. If we want, you can pick up a third faction here, and then you should start seeing all the 1 drops out of that faction. And so that makes the Ash down here kind of interesting in the sense that if we could get Omen Hawks to show up, that would be pretty great. And the same with Lonely Poro, the 1 cost Poro that puts an additional Poro into your hand. And so the Ash is a pretty reasonable choice. As far as card quality goes, this Ezreal is fantastic. We're starting out with a Mystic Shot. Using things like iterative improvement on the likes of Jagged Taskmaster can be quite useful. Otherwise, just copying a 1 drop, not a bad deal. But I think the one that I actually want to come in and take here would just be this Misfortune. I think it's pretty close between the Misfortune and the Ash. She just kind of functions as our third copy of Von Yip and Taskmaster, right? If the kind of like core of what we're trying to do with our deck and the big thing that we want to pull off is say play a 1 drop, get a +1 attack on it, and then be able to take down our opponent's 3-drop, then the +1 attack from the Taskmaster is usually good enough. And then in the same vein, using Misfortune should be good enough as well. And so I'm not like really stoked about seeing this opportunity attacks pool show up. We could potentially get some usage out of this if we take an Ionia pack and we're generating the blades, since the blades will get the bonuses from Von Yip and the Taskmaster as well. But we do have to worry a little bit about these these rando lurk units showing up that we just don't really want. I mean, if we ended up with some of the 1-cost lurks, that might be okay, but we're really not that excited to be playing Snapjaw Swarms here, since we're not going to be building to this theme. The Hammer Snout's fine, giving vulnerables a reasonable ability, but the Snapjaw Swarm, not quite what we're wanting to do. But I think Misfortune's probably strong enough to just come in here and take. So we will get this pulled up here as well. Let's scroll down our way to the Misfortune. Do my alphabet kind of thing. So many of these, but I just wanted to see what kind of lives here and what could be useful. There is some good stuff. I mean, Crackshot Corsair and Jagged Butcher are going to be kind of useful for our theme. I thought one of these looks like the 1-cost lurker doesn't live here, but things like Island Navigator is still quite good in that they come down and generate 1-drops, and then having some of these scout units can be useful between the Navigator and the Razor Scale Hunter, just as the means to try and level up our Misfortune a little bit more quickly. And so this should be fine enough. This is really just kind of like a champion pick as opposed to a card quality pick, whereas the Ezreal is just leaning on the card quality. I'm just like, as far as these decks go, like I don't really want to be out here playing 6-cost units and 4-cost units. They're all just a little bit too expensive. I really want like our curve to top out at like Von Yips are kind of a exception. The Reaver's Row is kind of an exception, but things like Rhymefang Denmother just do not really want, although it gets some bonus value out of the Rhymefang pack. But here with Ezreal, he's just way too expensive. We don't usually have the time to be sitting around doing this Mystic Shot style thing. So Misfortune it is, and let's see how things progress here. Okay, so kind of like the first thing I want to take a peek at is, are there 1-drops? We have the Crackshot Corsair and the Jagged Butcher, so we're going to get one somewhere. And then I am not opposed to picking up a third faction in this style of deck. And so a lot of times we really try really hard to just stay with 1 or 2. In this sense, either the Butcher or the Corsair we'll have to do it here. We can't branch out into Freylord because we just don't have the option. So the Jagged Butcher deckhand is going to be fine. I don't want to be playing cards like Strong Arm. This is reasonably weak. Okay, so we can, here in this middle pack, make our way over to Noxus, which it wouldn't be something I'm upset about, but again, like neither of these units are 1-drops. And I'm kind of leaning towards just taking this Warning Shot, Make It Rain. It helps us keep our curve pretty low. Make It Rain does a lot of work in these style of decks. If we're out here, trying to trade up, and we haven't found access to, say, a Von Yip or something yet, can help clear out our opponent's board. And so Warning Shot is, fairly weak, but I do want to come in and be picking up some Make It Rains here. Okay, and then here, this is a fairly easy one. Again, no more factions. We're going to get either a Jagged Butcher from the left pack or the right pack, and so I would much rather pick up a Fortune Croaker than pick up a Hunting Flute. And our last one, if we want to pick up some Targon, this would certainly be our opportunity to do it, but these cards are just too weak. Down here we have the Jagged Butcher along with a big removal spell, just right on point with what we're looking for. And look at these, we haven't picked up any Piltover cards along the way. We're just stuck at the one Piltover card, just the one Von Yip up to this point. Okay, nonetheless, what are we looking for here? The list can be kind of interesting in these decks. Just if you're able to get these free attacks, then that gives you the opportunities to get multiple attacks in for your Misfortune, especially in the sense if it's like our opponent's turn and we play that 5-drop unit that puts vulnerable onto something. We can play the list on our opponent's turn, get the list attack, and then maybe get a scout attack and another attack. It just gives us lots of ways to get our Misfortune going. I think I'm pretty okay to pick these up. Our 1-drop count is a little low here. We only have 4 1-drop units at pick 7, but we aren't getting a 1-drop anyway out of this. This is technically sort of 1-drop with the Island Navigator, but definitely need to be really focusing on our 1s. That's what we'll take here. We'll grab this Pool Shark. Playful Trickster is abysmally bad. I'll try to trade this away as quickly as we can, but Pool Shark is just the actual premier 1-drop. Okay, alrighty, well, some more ones to choose from. The Corsair and the Butcher are fairly even in card quality, but the Gotcha is much better than this Hammer Snout. We don't want anything to do with these lurkers, so fairly easy pickup with the Gotcha. Okay, well, not excited about playing 2 Warning Shots. It's just so weak. If we have one of these decks to where we have like, 2 Black Market Merchants and some pilfered goods, and we're playing with like Gangplanks, and we need to hit our opponent on our opponent's turn, then it can kind of peak up in value, but it's going to be fairly weak here. But I'm not willing to trade out on the Jailbreak just yet. All right, well here's the Reaver's Row. I'm not particularly excited about this one, but I do want to give this a try and just see how it plays out today. So we'll take the Submersible Reaver's Row. Ideally, we would be taking the list with the Crackshot Corsair, but we're here to give this card a try, and so I want to take it while we can. And of course, the second one shows up, but this one is at least much stronger in that it's paired up with a Mystic Shot. We are missing out on this Cutthroat Harpoon. Like, if I knew like how much I thought of this Reaver's Row, then it would probably be a much easier pass. Like, I feel like our deck would have been a lot better with like 2 1-drops, the Monster Harpoon, and then the list. But we got to give the Reaver's Row a try, and so welcome to the squad. All right, so this continues to be good. Mystic Shot and Prowling Cutthroat, not a bad set of units. And our last one, and so we definitely have to pick up a 1-drop here. We only have 5, 6, 7, 8 at this point, so we need to pick up 2 or 3 more before the trial's over. So we either have the Academic or the Jagged Butcher, and I'm kind of leaning on picking up the Citrus Courier. We don't have too much top end here, and this is a decent late game play. It could work out reasonably with Reaver's Row as well. So I think that will be good for us. And beautiful, we can trade out the Playful Trickster for a Petty Officer. I would like to trade away the Snapjaw Swarm. This is extremely low quality in our deck, but Monkey Idol is not much of an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade, don't get me wrong, but I would rather just go ahead and get rid of the Playful Trickster for the Petty Officer and pick up an actual high quality card. Okay, it's that time of the show. We got to go and turn something premium. We might just be out of units at this point. I'm not sure what's even going to be left here. So far, none of these are in our deck. Let's switch our way over to the spells. Oh, we could upgrade Warning Shot. It's at least going to be the one to save me from having to upgrade a rare. That looks like it. Oh, we could upgrade Monster Harpoons, though. All right, that's an important one. Big old removal spell. Welcome to the squad. Let's dive on in. So yeah, this deck, it came together okay. I would definitely like to have more Pull Sharks, but beyond that, it's serviceable. I'm really interested to see how these Reaver's Rows play out, because it's something that we're going to have to line up kind of perfectly. I mean, you have to play it on your attack token. I think, right? The ability's not permanent. Let me pull that up. LOR Guardian at it as well. But here, nonetheless, Misfortune is too good to be passing up. She's kind of the key to our deck, and otherwise we'll just mulligan everything else away and look for some 1-drops. Here's the Reaver's Row. Grant 1-cost allies 2/1 and Fearsome. So that's permanent, right? My big worry with that was that we wouldn't be able to get, if we say we're on the, we didn't get this ability for like 3 turns, how it was going to play out. But nonetheless, this is a reasonable start. I went with the Cutthroat in case we just don't want to play Misfortune on the 3rd turn, if we need to get a Cutthroat play. So we did miss out on a point of damage, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Just such a make it rainable board. All right, well, we'll start off with the Misfortune here. See if opponent plays a reasonable Lurk unit to try and shut some of this down. He just can't block with either of these units when we put Misfortune on the board. So hopefully we could just get a good cleanup next turn with the with the Make It Rain. I'll still keep Misfortune behind just in case opponent has a way to give a unit +1 health. But this is looking like a pretty strong Make It Rain here. I think we can wait till combat. He's not going to this costs 6. Oh man, we're one short of getting to do everything. So we will have 2 targets that are bad since we can't gotcha away the lurker, but I think this still seems okay. Do we actually want to block with anything? It's going to take us to 6. Let's say we actually kill 2 things. I think this is fine. Let's take the damage. It's going to go 1 face and 1 on the lurker because we're being greedy here. Nailed it. Knew it was going to happen. Okay. Okay, let's just go ahead and get the squad in. It's too easy for them to add in another good blocker this turn. Okay. Think about that. So brutal, just naturally hitting Pike with the death from below, or on top of your deck. Probably lost this one at this point. We'll have to wait and see, but between the Make It Rain missing and him just, you know, being the all-star hitting the Pike, I don't think there's a lot we can do in this one from this point. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Naturally hitting some more lurks. It's about right. Okay. But we need a little bit of luck here, so I think this is okay. He has a +1 health or something. That kind of is what it is. Okay, so maybe we can get him next turn. We have a lethal lined up. Right, our Prowling Cutthroat's going to get +2 attack from the Reaver's row. So this is, we can attack with the Cutthroat. Oh, it just gained health? I thought that was the thing that, puts the defender things on the board, whatever that was called. Okay, so this is as good as it's going to get. Brutal. We had the 6 damage from the Cutthroat and then 1 from the warning shot. Course. Just no. Oh, and it's Rek'Sai, really? Okay, guy. Okay. So we've gotten our low roll out of the game, I hope, between completely missing on Make It Rain, opponent naturally hitting Pike, and then naturally hitting Rek'Sai. I still never know if this is the day to go and buy your lottery tickets, or if your luck's done for the day and you just kind of let it go. But anyways, getting rid of the Snapjaw Swarm for Double Trouble is super good. Quite the nice pickup here. Let's move on. All right, it's good to be back. Had a nice 3-day hiatus from the videos. I mean, we purchased a home a while ago and just got moved into it. Let me tell you, I've done this before, but I was in my early 20s when it happened. But moving when it's over 100 degrees outside is awesome. Let me tell you, nothing better than just lugging a bunch of shit. It's 100 degrees outside, just sweating all over everything. All the movers are sweating all over everything. It's all around pretty miserable weekend, but we made it through. The things have been done, and so we should hopefully be back to the regular content creation. But here, not a bad start. Got 2 1-drops along with a Von Yip. With this style of hand, I tend to want to play them a little bit slower. since we need to get some kind of advantage out of Von Yip. These lurker decks tend to have a lot of ways to give out vulnerable, so I don't want to think our Von Yip is like super safe, but we'll give that a moment once the time comes. Excuse me. Get that aggression going. Oh, I do forget that this generates the one drops. It's one of the. I always just think that this grants the countdown. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see how lucky you get, boss. So with this, this is always one of these awkward spots in that, like, do we want to bank up the mana for the Von Yip, or just go ahead and drop Pull Shark? I think the Pull Shark's fine here. You don't have enough spell generating units or units that generate spells, whatever, that to really take advantage of this here. Nice pickup in the Taskmaster. Gosh, did you miss it? Even if you hit, it's not any good. Okay. This is the opposite of what happened in the previous game. Previous guy just naturally hitting pikes and Rexas as opposed to this guy just missing when it counts. Looking pretty strong here. So if we can, I'd like to let him get through combat before we play Von Yip. So at the end of the day, if he tries to get like ultra clever and just pass on us, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with banking into the next turn and not getting Von Yip going. You don't really have any units to take advantage of anyways, except for the Reaver's Row. Here comes the something. Okay. It's like, got to attack with this thing, or he's just so far behind. Okay.
Quite right, quite right.
Go, Von. Yep, get your aggro on here. This one's probably done. Dude's just too far behind. We got 3 damage in our hand. I don't think they have any life gain potential. Well, there was that stupid card that we got drained out of last game, but let's see if we can't get this here. Take it down now. Do it. Nice. Okay, a little bit of vengeance onto the lurkers. The variance definitely averaged out that game. Looks good. Okay, so I do want to continue to just pick up these misfortunes. This is an okay-ish one. Kind of the things I'm looking at doing with this deck now. I want to get rid of some of this like non-essential expensive stuff. So if we can get rid of Submersible, get rid of Citrus Courier, I'm all on board with that. Things like Petty Officer, Island Navigator aren't requirements, but I'm happy enough to trade them away. Hammer Snout, it's not that strong, but it's okay. Like the thing that I was about to say that I'd like to replace this stuff with are ways to pass around vulnerable. And so the Hammer Snout at least does that. It's just so stat light that it's not going to be what I want. I would rather have things like the 2/3 for 2 mana that puts vulnerable on something, or the likes of the 1-cost spell that puts a vulnerable on something and lets you draw a card if you kill it. Like that's going to be kind of the thing that we're looking for here. But again, we're going to be stacking up misfortunes, and otherwise, I think we're looking strong enough. This Reaver's row is, a little better, and I gave it credit for it. I really just thought it was I forgot that when the countdown comes off, you get the one drop. So a lot of nice things that you can do with that. It's that appropriate opponent, ready to get more lurkers going. But yeah, not bad. There is all this light from back here. I'm looking to deal with that. They make these things called curtains that I just haven't had the chance to put up yet. And hopefully that'll be dealt with. Have the old setup good to go. My beautiful face will be front and center. Looking good. So this is tough. I think, like, how many ones do we have, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 9 ones. It's like I always want to be hanging onto these mystic shots, but if we don't have a 1-drop, this is so bad for us. We'll roll the dice. I'm gonna take my dice roll back. Well, at least at the end of the day, maybe we'll get to pull off a make it rain onto a Blade Squire and a... damn, I was hoping we were going to get to pop the... get to pop the Rune Forger. Just go ahead and get this out of here. I want to get Misfortune rolling next turn. So, yeah, I mean, if you played Rune Forger and we got the the double make it rain to kill both of his units into the plunder for Jagged Butcher, that would have been quite nice, but not the way it played out here. Are there 2 mana tricks to punish this? I don't think so. Nice. Gonna make your way down, upgraded Jagged Butcher, aren't you? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my friend. That's not gonna be what you want. And we'll just take the damage from the rear guard. I think we're much better at this race than our opponent is, and so I'm not really worried about this damage right now. It's gonna get a sharpened resolve out of this. Whirling Death. Okay, nothing to do about that. His aggression is just pretty much aced now, right? Pretty good. Getting the double Reaver's row. We run out of space if we do this. Like if we want to play the jailbreak, we're definitely playing Reaver's row. But like, we're gonna generate 1 next turn, and then we do want to play a second Reaver's row. Let's wait. An 8 hit. Not that bad. We just want to take the full amount. 11, we'd fall to... Yeah, I think this is fine. Fall to 4. There's no... Not going to give him the chance to play tricks. He needs to Brothers Bond, like, right now, if that's what he wants to do. Then do we even bother with the Reaver's row? Right, we're just going to get a random 1. This is okay. We'll have 2 of them. Then we can't add... We still add the jailbreak? This one will just replace itself. Okay. So we shouldn't have played this Reaver's row is what the problem was here. We're going to run out of space in that sense. That does make our whole squad grow next turn if that's what we're able to pull off here. think this should be lethal, though. He's going to need an additional removal spell, and then if he only takes 7 from the guys on the left, we can still end it with a warning shot. Nice. Got him good. Hey, let's just have a face race where no one blocks anything, and we just see who can do the most damage the fastest. All right, well, here's our chance to get rid of Hammer Snout. I'm not opposed to trading away these warning shots, but Jaw Hunter's not exactly the dude we're looking for. He's fine. He plays quite well with Misfortune and gives us the sea monster, but I think I'm good enough with the gotcha, just getting rid of the Hammer Snout. We at least have some like minor combos with the warning shot. That'll be kind of the next thing we're looking to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of the warning shots, and then the expensive units that we don't need. Can't imagine we'll get a Misfortune flip this game unless it involves like having a Misfortune on the board and then playing the 5-cost Scout and then having the list to go along with it. That's an awfully big ask. But if she's seeing 4 attacks, then the game should just be over with anyways. Okay, so let's start like this. This is one of these hands that plays a little bit better on the evens, but this is okay. I do like playing a Pool Shark on turn 2. It's pretty easy to get the mana going with it. Some kind of Shyvana Jarvan. Gotta see if we can't aggro them down before their unit quality just outmatches us. Oh, the Jagged Butchers. I guess we have 5 of them. So this looks like our turn that the Harpoon's gonna drop. Kinda unfortunate. Missing out on a +1/+1 from the Butcher. I mean, we can warning shot the Butcher if we really need to, but okay. Having a lead either. No umbrellas for you.
You must have some unique insight into dragons.
Most are cruel, vicious, and deadly.
Never blocking. Just get that out of here. So let's start with Double Trouble, see what happens. I'm leaning towards just playing a warning shot into Butcher and then opening. Oh, the Wings in the Wave is fucking awful.
There's plenty of killing left.
All right, 0-1. Do your thing.
Give us some room.
This is your end.
I have urgent news.
Feels so bad only getting in for 3. But we drew the best draw we could in the Reaver's Row. Give us the means to hopefully close this out on the next attack. If he's only going to play like 1 unit into 1 unit into 1 unit, then that's extremely good for us. Especially if we're able to try and gotcha down Shyvana. You wanna hook our Wings in the Wave? You thinking about that? Okay, so we'll be a little bit short. At best, we're gonna get like 8 damage in next turn. Block. Okay. Blocks, assume he'll just come in and try and block Pool Shark. Well, if he blocks Pool Shark, he's gonna lose a unit to Bark Beast. It's pretty sweet in my books. Down to 3. Oh man, that would have been nice if we could have done the Petty Officer warning shot kill. Oh shit, that's bad. I can't beat him gaining 8 health. Damn. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pick up a Mystic Shot. That's kind of our only way out. Oh man, maybe he just won't attack here, right? He doesn't attack with the Radiant, then we could also kill him with Misfortune Petty Officer style of play. Hold on one. I don't want to block the Grizzled Ranger because it's just going to give him another blocker. So if he has a trick, we're dead. I don't think we can beat the Radiant anyways, but this is about the only way I could see this going positively for us. It's Misfortune. We have the chance to get more damage out of Petty Officer making a unit, so. Never dealing 11 damage. Probably have to actually deal 15 when it comes down to it. We needed to, like, I don't know how the mathematics would have worked there, but we would have needed to, like, hit a Challenger off a Petty Officer and then push the Radiant way down to the right. But here, we got more 1-drops. I'm not going to complain about that. The deckhand doesn't have a whole lot of combos in our deck. It does play well with the likes of Make It Rain, so this does an AoE for 2 damage, but like super interested in having that in our deck. Doesn't have the combos with the 1-cost Matters cards. So I think, yeah, with like the Petty Officer making powder kegs, I'm cool with. If we picked up something like Burn 'em Down or whatever that's called that puts the powder keg and puts the torch in your hand, I'd be cool with that. But the deckhand feels pretty low value here. Right. So weird. What do you? I guess that would be like a total recall Teemo. It's so weird seeing Teemo plus Pike plus Ionia. Nothing really combos with anything there. But with these, I'm going to hang on to our 1-drop and Jailbreak. I'm going to hang on to Make It Rain in case it has a turn 1 Teemo. And then look for other early game plays. Submersifal's not a great pickup here, but what we got. That's the hand life dealt us, so let's do what we can with this guy. Got Kitty on it though, so I mean, is that Professor Von Yip? I can never remember Von Yip's actually the cat. Do this, like make all of our Guardian go away. Oh no, where's our little legends at? What's going on? We get disconnected or something? Where's my little legend, my little kitty at? Uh-oh. This doesn't seem good. Oh, just somebody roping? Is that what's happening here? We still don't have our little legend. There it is. It's shown up now. Hey, maybe we'll hit a lurker. I don't think we have any left. I think we got rid of all of them, but okay. Maybe you'll play like an Academy Prodigy here. I just love seeing these opportunities to get 2-for-1s with Make It Rain. So much nicer now that it costs 2 mana. Looking at the factions and trying to think of how we want to manage this. I think a Mystic Shot's probably okay. Still live this world where we might get a 2-for-1 out of the Make It Rain. Uh-oh, this is bad. Oh, just a recall, that's fine. I thought it was, I just had it in my head that he was going to be dropping this, like, suit up on us. This is a pretty abysmal hand. We can drop Von Yip next turn, but we don't have any combos with him, so awesome. There's an argument to wait until next turn, so that if he's in like the middle of an attack, we might be able to ace the Teemo then. Whereas right now, say he has a second Teemo in his hand, if we kill the Teemo, we can replay it. But he's like so far behind on the puff caps. We're at 0 right now, so this isn't like a super intimidating Teemo. This is pretty far away from being scary. Okay. This has been quite the wild draw where we just have fuck all to do. So, we'll see. Maybe we'll at least draw double trouble or something here. It's at least it's a 1-drop. Much better than adding a submersible. And the way I'm kind of like thinking of this is I think we can ignore Teemo and then maybe pick on whatever card he plays here, because ideally we can just block Teemo with Fizz. Let's see. Okay. Not how I expected that turn to go, but it's fine. I think we're strong now. Don't think we should be losing this one ever. Does the timelines put the generated unit or the new unit into play attacking? Is that the way that's going to work? That's kind of cool. 2 constructed players out there do that. Okay. Unfortunate. I was considering just not attacking since he's not going to lethal us, but it's just so easy for us to get a positive attack in there. Knock him down, our Fizz. It's not very nice. Far away are you, Loga? 7 of 10. Not as close as I'd like it to be. We can't do this here. I think what we'll look to do is next turn we'll just try and get like a Mystic Shot plus Citrus Curry or Rally type play in. Go about this. We'd get in for 1 here. I think this is fine. Want to hook the Raider with anything though? We'd have to hook up with Von Yip, or I guess if we play the Jagged Butcher now. What if we do this? We play Jagged Butcher. And add Submersible, that's fine. Then we'll just put a hook onto the Ruthless Raider. Then we can probably go from this point, right? Playing your unit. So if he blocks our biggest unit in the 4/4. Oh, that's right, he just gets to replay his thing. So if he blocks our 2 bigs, we can only get in for 4 damage. Or we can hook the Shadow with the Hatchling. Say he blocks Jagged Butcher with this. 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1 short. Still okay. We still have this Mystic Shot Citrus Courier thing we can do next turn. Okay, the Clump of Lumps, this one's done. Yeah, be going, oh no, oh no, he's going face. That is never a good sign. That one should do it.
Point, I shoot.
Take us to 3. He's only got a Mushroom Cloud in hand, so we can take that and then just swing back with the squad. Oh, can we get there in time? Cupcake. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see, again, we're just going to take the misfortune here. Now, these island navigators aren't ideal, but you can see how bad these games go when you know, we just don't have the early game plays. That's why I've been kind of so adamant about wanting to trade away these non one drops essentially. But our curve is a little bit too high at this point, so hopefully we can kind of manage that. And so okay, this looks like a what you would call a mega keg or a raiding party style deck, kind of mushed together. Gangplank Swain typically play with the mega kegs, trying to get advantage out of powder kegs, and then Gangplank Sejuani are the raiding party that are trying to trying to get an advantage out of trying to get get up to this 5 damage across different turns. But here, looking strong. I started with Fizz since opponent didn't play a unit. If opponent played a unit, then I would play the Cutthroat, but we should get in an additional point of damage this way. And now we're good to get our 3/3 Butchers down. Strong stuff. Nothing to do this turn. A little unfortunate. Just add the Prowling Cutthroat, but a bit more. Is that too much? Is that a big ask? just want a little bit more. Oh, friend, that is not good.
Hey there. Don't mind the knife.
Okay, then I'm good to open. We can add Von Yip after we attack, so no reason to let him get a blocker on the board.
I'll try anyone you want.
These petty officer mystic shots to close it out if we want. Ideally, he would just be playing like a 5-drop here, right? We can just get a punch in a ton of damage.
The ocean whispers her secrets.
We'll take what we want.
Okay. So if he blocks our bigs, it would be just the 3 damage. Would be getting in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just like a little bit short. I think we ever just want to be making like scout attacks though.
I'll be quick. Always forward.
But I mean, if this comes down and blocks a big, we might be able to clean this out with a gotcha. Let's let this combat end. We'll play the gotcha after the fact here. Give them a chance to tap out and maybe not have a troll chant or something to try and save this Reaver. It's kind of a disaster if the gotcha fails onto this thing. Okay. So Elixir of Iron would be problematic, but otherwise it seems fine. Ugh, Sand Soldier. your combos are appreciated, but not quite what's happening here. Ugh. we're certainly blocking Swain if he attacks, but this lets us, if he attacks with Swain, then we can take him down with the Razor Scale Hunter next turn. So it gets us a spot where we can get these attacks where we try to say like hook the Powder Keg with the Navigator, take Swain down with the Razor Scale Hunter. This is all okay. I'm gonna let him just AoE our squad though. What do we think though? If we Mystic Shot the Disciple, hook Swain, then we're getting in for 6, 8, 10. Kind of dig it. Slightly worrisome if he has a removal spell next turn. It kind of shuts this plan down, but as long as we keep having answers to Swain, or as long as we have the means to keep Swain from blasting our team, I think it's okay. Yeah, that seems, at the end of the day, that seems fairly risky. We want to just assume that we're never lethaling this turn? How close is this, right? He has so many cards. It's so easy for him to have a lethal this turn.
Let's get a good look at you.
It takes him to 4. It's like, I want to line up the list to get a takedown, but draw a bunch of cards out of his deck, though, so maybe we'll pull off something here.
Destruction feeds my fire.
I can lethal if he never answers it, right? Okay, then that also gives us another way to do this. If he starts playing cards and we get the chance to the list attack this turn with Misfortune on the board. This thing down. Take him down with the Misfortune ability. So maybe he'll play another card. That's kind of the idea here, is if he plays another card, we might be able to just kill him. Oh, got him.
That's how we do things in Bilgewater.
So we do things in Bilgewater. Let's see, what are we going to do here? We do. I don't like scrap shots in this style of deck, and a lot of decks I do recommend, you know, always packing in one big removal spell, but we don't have time for that shit here, right? We're just going to go wad and go face. We don't have time to be playing 7 mana removal spells, but I am happy enough to get rid of the warning shots. These are pretty low value. The merchants are okay. I don't want to call it a super high quality card, but much like that game where you just kind of run out of stuff to do. The Black Market Merchant, pretty good at giving you stuff to do. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of the Reaver's Row. We haven't drawn it in a few games, but it's still decent. Come on. Come on. It's not happening with the cat, I guess. So here, I think this is probably fine. Misfortune's strong enough to keep. Jagged Butcher is to guarantee that we have a 1. He is playing Teemo, but only 2 copies. So maybe he's not like all in on the puff caps, but I would like to mulligan and find an answer of some sort if we can. It's quite a while to get this Taskmaster going. So that's a downside to trading away the warning shots. It's tough. Do we ever just run him out, even though we have Mystic Shot in our hand? Gotta get rid of these stupid things. Just go ahead and do it while he can't play an iterative improvement or something. We have misfortune. I don't want to be dealing with one health units when we're about to ace all those.
Fortune favors the bold.
Come on. Here's a kitty. So exciting. We get to bring my favorite kitty back here soon. now that we're in the house. This little dumb son. Favorite kitty. That's the problem. We had the 3 kitties, and then we had moved to an apartment, so we had a limit of 2 kitties. So my favorite one there, he's the most social and does the best with strangers, and so he got to go to a relative's house until we got the house. Now that we have the house, he gets to come back here real soon. Top-notch kitties. Okay, anyways, back to the game. This Teemo's not super threatening. I think I just want to start with the Navigator. Try and get these things going. With the Misfortune, we might have a realistic chance to get a more Misfortune flip this game. And with this hand, we can do things like get the Scout attack in and then follow up with Jagged Butcher, so the littles will get to be a little bit stronger. I guess it comes down to like how much do we care about this Teemo, and do we want to say Razor Scale Hunter the Teemo, or do we want to try and Double Trouble Jagged Taskmaster? That's close. This Kahiri is going to be a bit of a pain. Have a really good answer to this thing. I think we can let this Teemo just run rampant. So let's. Oh, the downside with this Razor Scale Hunter play is if he has another biggish unit behind, then it just doesn't do anything, and the play fails. So let's just go back to this. Blocks the Navigator with Kahiri Student. I think this is okay because it'll only have 1 health. And then our future Misfortune attacks will look a little better. We don't have to start with the Taskmaster. We can play Double Trouble first and see what shows up, and then play the Taskmaster after. Still gives everything the bonus. Some big boys, dim some quality units. Okay, that doesn't do anything. All right, then nothing special about this attack. We just want to make sure that the Bakai Reaper's on the right, so it gets bonuses as we slay stuff. Definitely kill Kahiri if he blocks anything to our left. Cool. I don't think he counted on our Reaper getting the bonus. Didn't push the old Oracle Eye there. And we're 5 Puff Caps, not at any real danger of dying to Puff Caps. So I think this Teemo is ignorable. But, ideally, he'll just play a 6-drop with 5 health here, and then we just get to kill it with the Harpoon. But can't imagine. His hand has to just be super weird, right? If he's playing the parallel convergence draw card thing last turn and open with a time trick here, hand just has to be abysmal. This seems like a cry for help. Probably just can't pass though, right? Let's just add the Razor Scale. Oh, I guess he's going to attack with Teemo. We have a little bit of time here. It's uncalled for. It's downright not very nice. What do we think? Do we want to just go ahead and spike this assembly bot now that he's tapped out? And we can go wide next turn, or do we just want to add 2 units to the board? Kind of on board with, I kind of think I'm okay with just this add 2 units kind of thing.
Armed and ready.
We playing bilge rules, son?
Okay, here we go. Alright, so we'll just do the old little to big here. I want to hook Teemo with the 2 attack one, so I was going to pull the pole shark down to the right. But, cool, got him. Okay, so what are we doing here? Trading out a warning shot for Gearhead is fine. Do we have any created cards? I mean, the 1 attack, quick attack is always fine. It's easy enough to give it +1 or have misfortune to have it really get going. I don't think we have any created cards here. Doesn't look like it. Maybe there's one, but nothing to call a theme. Pre-final battle. Ready for it. Okay, more Shyvana. It's weird. This is the second time we've seen the double or the Demacia only Shyvana style deck. With this, I'm gonna hang on to Pool Shark, trade everything else away. The Mystic shots tend to be not very good in these matchups. Their units are too big for it to be super relevant, so I'm just gonna let it go. Pool Shark can be awkward here, but it does let us try and get this 3/3 start with our open attack. Set on Submersible, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, you usually have like a 1 in 3 chance of hitting a 1-drop on that on a play with the Bull Shark here, so it's not the end of the world to miss out on the Submersible. Jagged Butcher, one card too low. Can't pop our Misfortune. I was gonna say let's just pull it back and let him attack into us, but this is fine. Gonna send in the Bull Shark here. If he wants to put the damage onto the Rune Lord and let us take it down with the Jagged Butcher next turn, I think that's good for us because we're about to start popping off with Von Yip. I want to see them like tap some mana. This is safe from single combat though. These things don't deal enough damage.
Confine and contain.
Big pile of 1-drops to put down. Let's do Fizz, right? He's gonna come in and just hook our Von Yip immediately. Maybe he comes in and hooks Misfortune though. He's never hooking Fizz at the end of the day, so I do feel safe about that. Giving up on the chef. So it's like if you want to stop and consider what he could have here. The big one that we have to play around is just like, okay, he's gonna have 1 health for his Screeching Dragon, so I don't want to Mystic Shot. I want to hit the dragon with the gotcha. The other one that you have to stop and consider here is like, what if he has Ranger's Resolve to put abilities onto everything, and that's just not super relevant. So we're not gonna block this guy down here, but that could be an issue if we had to say block with Professor Von Yip. I like this less now. I wasn't thinking that we were going to have to open here, but I think we do. get the good block with the Conservator onto the Butcher, but if we're just like plowing through here, we have to get rid of this thing at some point. Seems good. Back to back does not seem good. Ugh. Okay. It's fairly brutal. So we have to Mystic Shot and Pilfered Goods here. Gotta draw something out of his deck because we are out of gas completely. I think this game's probably just done. These 2/4s are quite challenging for us to deal with. Dragon Chow's a 1-drop, I guess. Gives us some kind of bonus. You want to just eat it? You play a dragon, it strikes me, and you draw 1. You survive this? Hell yeah. Combos, God, why aren't people doing this in Constructed? Idiots. His attacks are horrible now. We can't do anything with the Butcher and the Navigator, though. I think we just have to come in and open. And if he has another back-to-back, we're just done for. This is like our last opportunity to try to get ahead. He's just going to start putting gigantic dragons we can't attack through. Like, at the end of the day, if we have an empty board and he just plays, you know, like a 6/6 Scout or even another Screeching Dragon, we're just so far behind. That's tough. This deck has... There's a handful of cards that give this deck fits, and I wasn't used to the 2/4 giving us fits because he's new, but it's certainly akin to running into a bunch of Larent proteges. But with these, don't want any of these. These cards are all expensive. On the right, the cards on the left are all cheap. Looking to drop down our curve, so we can give that one a skip. Okay, let's see if we can't salvage it and take this to 7. You can see it can get kind of tough. Losing a Misfortune is never good. She's kind of the glue here. You had the Von Yip going for a bit, but it takes a lot more work. Hey, it's so weird. Why are these people playing Ionia in their Vigio and Shyvana deck? I worry about this one in much of the same vein as that last one, is that if we have to run into that 2/4, it's a bit of a problem. They also have that 2-cost dragon that comes down as a 4/3, also a bit of a problem. We need really aggressive draws here. That's just not what we have. Well, he's 100% blocking here all the time. So if he has the 4/3, then we just have to come down and attack into it. It's so bad, though. You just have to let it go. But like, what are we realistically ever going to do here, though? Like, we can gotcha this thing, but he's just gonna play bigger dudes. This game's done. We have to have something positive happen with Professor Von Yip. So let's see, we can add Von Yip to the board. Next turn, I definitely want to take down his challenger, so hopefully he can't do anything about this, but you just have to add Von Yip and have things go right.
Perhaps we should pause for thought.
I am more than I
Okay. I can't imagine ever recovering from this position. We'll try. We'll certainly give it our best shot.
Every way is a path.
We're gonna do this next turn. We want to start off with the scout attack. Shyvana gets to block something and flip. Ugh. Ugh. And Vigio. All right, well, this one's done. Let's be real with this. That's a touch unfortunate. We ran into a bad matchup twice in a row. Not a whole lot you can do about that. I just can't. I can't imagine that you're ever strong against a deck that's just completely chock full of 2/4s, right? When your opponent has. Oh, I clicked on the rewards too quick. When your opponent has the 3 health unit to shut you down from turn 2 forward, it's a little awkward. I mean, maybe we should have. Maybe our mistake there was just like not mulliganing away Von Yip because we knew Von Yip was going to be slightly awkward, but um, so much of that just kind of comes down to your opponent's draw, and so kind of like the Dragons decks of old days, you could kind of pick on their early game plays because you didn't want to be playing Dragon Chow. The only early game play that they really had was the 1/3, the 1/3 that puts a dragon in your hand, and so it couldn't shut down all of your early game, and then you weren't really running into units until turn 4 when they're adding their Shyvanas or their 4/4 Furies for 4. But now with the likes of the 4/3 dragon on turn 2, or the likes of an additional 2/4 on turn 3, and putting Laurent Protege back in the game, that's a real tough matchup for this deck to beat. Can't imagine if we'd ever be more than like a 40% favorite in that match. So is what it is. But I thought this was an interesting little trial. Gave us our chance to try out the Reaver's Row. It didn't want to make an appearance after about game number 3, but it kind of is what it is. And so I do like how we constructed this here, though, because at the end of the day, I think Misfortune plays quite nicely with these decks, and she is the kind of ideal champion that you have in this situation. Because as you can see in a lot of these games, if we're just having these draws to where we don't have any assistance, like if we don't have a Taskmaster or a Von Yip or a Misfortune or a Reaver's Row, our units just get outclassed super quickly. And so if you're in one of these decks to where you say like start with Fizz and then you pick up a Jinx and you have like Fizz, Jinx, 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 or however you go about it to fill out your champions, then at the end of the day, I mean, you typically just have the one or the 2 boosting units, the one Taskmaster, the one Von Yip, and then maybe you found a Reaver's Row along the way. But I mean, only having 3 cards to boost all of your units when it's such an important thing to be doing, it makes it real high rolly as far as your deck is concerned. And so, Misfortune, she's super strong on her own, and then just being there to, in those games to where if we could attack with our two attack units into 3s or what have you, if they start to get their value blocks and they just have a bunch of 1 health units, then Misfortune helps to come in and clear that out as well. And so, yeah, I do think that that's the big thing here. This deck drafts slightly differently in that, most decks are going to be like, oh man, it's a Mystic Shot, I really want that, or oh man, it's a removal spell, I really want that. And in this deck, you're not completely ignoring them, but it's not the most important thing you can be doing. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the way you're looking at these decks is, kind of like the tier 1 thing that you have would be your unit boosters. And so if you see additional Von Yips, if you see additional Jagged Taskmasters, if you see Reaver's Rows, or if you see Misfortunes, those are your big important ones to be taking. Immediately after that, you're looking for your 1-drops, and you do want to have at least 10. 10 to 12 is kind of the magic number. If you have less than 10, you run into those games that we did there to where you just don't have enough early game plays. If you have a hand that has like a 1-drop and then everything else costs 3 or more, that turn 2 is a real punisher. You're really looking to be able to play 3 1-drops in the first 2 turns of the game, or at least be able to spend all of your mana every turn of the game through about the first 4 or 5 turns. If you have, banked spell mana that you're able to spend on and make it rain at some point or whatever, then fine. But basically, if you don't spend every single mana you have in those first 5 turns of the game, you're probably just going to lose. So that's the big importance in picking up the 1-drops is to kind of cover off on that. And then after that, removal spells are fine. You don't really want anything expensive. And so things like Citrus Courier, Submersible, Razor Skull Hunter, we really don't want. I really don't like having cards in the deck that cost more than 3 or 4 mana, with the outstanding thing being things like Von Yip or our 1-drop generators like Island Navigator or Petty Officer. But at the end of the day, not a bad trial. I had fun with this one. It was a nice little return. I was glad to try out Reaver's Row. One of the commenters, I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, but told me I was a dumb about Reaver's Row, and you're pretty spot on. I thought this card was going to be garbage, but I have a hard time getting it in my head that this thing actually generates a 1-cost unit every turn, and that was kind of the surprising thing to me. Was as soon as that first one came down, I was like, oh shit, that thing does make a unit. That is pretty useful. And so not a bad card whatsoever. This was a nice little game closer. But yeah, fun trial. And so it looked like there was some amount of rewards to go and click on. I'll have to see what pops up here. We've got our Eptic Capsule with the old Swiftwing Flight. Not a bad ender to the trial. Let's see what happens with this event pass as well. We had a big moving weekend that kind of gets in the way of doing those things. I'm curious with concurrent timelines if does the follower this generates come down premium, or we'll find out 4 months from now, the next time we draft concurrent timelines. And so that's going to be my choice there. We'll see if that was a mistake or not the next time we get to play it. All right, is that Karma? Scary looking Karma, ghost skin Karma, but not bad. We're about through the event pass here. We're making our way to the end. Got to get to this Senna though. I think we got plenty of time. Oh, we got 2 weeks left. Yeah, this thing will definitely get itself wrapped up. All right, it looks like we got some kind of loot box here. The essences. That is going to do it for us today. So, hope you all enjoyed the trial. You maybe took a trip down Reaver's Road, learned a thing or two along the way, and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.